She began uploading obvious date night and vacation shots without revealing the guys. But come on, a hot tub selfie with rose petals, candles, and 2 wine glasses? It's not hard to figure out what's happening. Her sister texted to ask if I knew what Sharon was doing. I told her straight out, Sharon started the marriage without my permission because she is lonely between her legs. Sharon blew up my phone after that, but I didn't care. My next shore leave begins next week. I already have my brother looking for an apartment. I told him and my parents the entire story. I also hired a lawyer to begin work on my case. I am not hurrying anything. She was living like a queen on my wages and complained about being lonely. Let me tell you something, keeping faithful isn't easy for us either. We travel across the world, stop at various ports, and have access to almost any luxury we desire. At the harbor, beautiful women are throwing themselves at soldiers in uniform. The majority of them do not care if you are married. My friends joke that I could have a girlfriend in every country if I wanted, but I've always remained faithful since that's what marriage means to me. Some of us continue to be faithful to our wives, but no one recognizes our efforts. They just presume that all military personnel cheat. Now for what transpired during my leave. I did not return to our residence. I couldn't bear the thought of being in the same bed as her other male partners. My brother had secured me an apartment in one of the town's new luxury towers. I spent the first few days with him and his family. My sister-in-law was upset when she learned what Sharon did. They used to be good friends. I brought my niece and nephew camping for the weekend, something I'd been promising them for years. The kids were asking where Aunt Sharon was, and I felt terrible having to make up explanations. Then I spent time with my parents in our hometown and caught up with old acquaintances, all of whom claimed they had never trusted Sharon. I shared everything on social media, not to be petty, but to show her that I wasn't sitting around depressed without her. My shore leave usually consists of these high-profile military parties, fancy gatherings held 5-star hotels that Sharon always enjoyed attending. Not everyone is invited to these events. It's largely top commanders and their wives, politicians, and prominent citizens in town. She truly believed she could simply stop our marriage while she had her pleasure and then resume when she was finished exploring. A few months later, she contacted me, expressing a need to discuss the terms of our open marriage, as if we could sit down over coffee and arrange when she could cheat. I shut it down quickly. Do whatever you want. I'm not playing this game. My lawyer told me to make a record of all these communications since they would be useful in the divorce. Then she saw me living my best life and sent me emails saying, "Let's go back to normal, I'm done with this," as if she could simply flick a switch and everything would be fine. She wrote a lengthy email about how she made a mistake, how none of these other guys made her feel the same way I did, and how she recognized what she was missing. She stated that she would do anything to save our marriage. "I thought we could figure this out," she replied, as if we were having a little argument over which color to paint the kitchen. I just looked at her and said, "You made your choice. Now I'm making mine." She burst into tears and told me how everyone in our social circle was ignoring her. None of my friends' spouses spoke to her anymore. These were women who used to be her best pals. They'd go shopping together, take spa days, and organize dinner parties. They wanted nothing to do with her. All those lavish parties she enjoyed, nobody invited her anymore. It turns out that being known as the wife who started her marriage while her spouse was deployed has a negative impact on your social status. "What do you want then?" she inquired through tears. I just answered, "You'll find out soon enough." She looked concerned and added, "You met someone, right? You love her, don't you? Are you seeing her?" I couldn't help but laugh. She was the one who wanted to see other people, but suddenly she was jealous of the idea of me with someone else. She continued to beg for answers, but I had had enough. I just cried, "Get out." And she went, claiming I'd regret betraying her trust.